some rocket fuel today because he's on an absolute mission. So he's going to show us how to install a door lining. You can cut. Usually the wall would be a lot thicker, but these walls are really thin. And they're just basically cardboard, honeycomb, that's it. So Grandad's going to bring them out a bit wider, and then what's going to happen is the architrave is going to sit like that. And so we're going to put this door lining in, so obviously you can install your door, and then we've got door stops on it, which when you shut the door, it stops the door from basically doing that. So what's first things first then, Grandad?
Prepare the frame, which I'm doing now, preparing the frame. So these have got two settings.
Yeah.
One's for a larger door.
Yeah.
This one's for a smaller.
So in the pack, you get 2 legs, stopper, and your door stop. This is your door stop. So that's going to stop your door. Boom. So what he's done already, he's measured the height of the door frame, and that's going to sit down there. That's what he was chopping earlier. So he's chopped the length off.
The door is 1981.
The door is 1981.
The year I was born.
In your dreams. 1891 more like.
Oh, I see, I've got 100 now.
And that's your topper. So you imagine, and then obviously your other leg on there, and that is your door lining.
If you go through once, you're cutting off so much wood, it bends the blade, so you don't get correct cut.
Because you imagine that thing's spinning so quick, if you was just to go like that, bang, straight through, it hasn't got time. It's going so fast. So if you go nice and soft halfway through and then go again, you're just giving it enough time to chop not as much wood. What screws are we using, Grandad?
60 mil.
60 mil?
Yeah.
Big boys. And if you haven't got a chop saw like Grandad, that's a chop saw, you can use a hand saw. Obviously it takes a little bit longer, but it's the same thing, just make sure you're cutting straight. So what we're doing here, we're screwing the legs to the top, but we're keeping this square. So obviously that fits into the slot that's in the header, and you've just got to make sure you're keeping that square, because if you screw it in pissed, then obviously it's not going to go in, it's going to be pissed. Pissed meaning not level. See what you do though, you know when obviously Grandad's putting a bit of timber on there, then hitting the timber, the last thing you want to do is smash into that brand new door lining and start causing hammer marks all up in your new door lining. So you imagine that bit that Grandad's got in his right hand, that was the architrave. Now you know you're level all the way up, because that's where you're putting your architrave. Because obviously now you've got to drill this into the timber that's behind.
Yeah, so you go back 60 mil from the front edge,
Okay.
then the door stop hides it.
He's all about hiding screws, he don't like fixing. When would you put the door stop on?
Once the door's on.
And oh right, yeah, because you're going to have to put it in the right position for where the door's closing.
Yeah.
How would you work that out, obviously, once you've got the door?
When I've cut the bottom of the door off, we'll use that.
And then you'll see where you need to put it.
One liner fix, simple.
One door liner fixed, ready for the door. And now
I can finish the skirting.
he can finish the skirting because he didn't have nothing to come up to because he didn't have the door linings here. Now he's got his door lining in, he can bring the skirting up to the door lining. But that is how you hang.
Right, I've just taught you so you can do the rest.
Is that the time?